Thank you very much, Dodi, for that kind introduction. First of all, maupay nga patron.
Maupay nga patron man.
Just like Dodi, I think I'm an adopted Wakaino because my wife is from the island of Samar, particularly in Borongan. And of course, the mother comes from Leyte, actually, in the Dam. So she has both the Leyte streak and also the Samar streak in her. Well, anyway, I just want to let you know that I really wanted to be with you because I tried to make myself available to all Filipino-American associations that have an event. You know, we in the Consulate General, our first mission is to serve the Filipino community. So in doing so, we try to reach out to as many Filipino-American communities in my jurisdiction. You know, I cover 10 states. I cover the 6 states of New England, from Maine all the way down to Connecticut. Of course, the state of New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. In fact, I just came last night from an event in Philadelphia. And just before going here, I'm sorry we could not attend the Mass because I had to be at the Rizal Park Rizal, in Jersey City, where they had a commemoration of the 150th year anniversary of Dr. Rizal. In case you don't know, tomorrow is June 19. We are observing the 150th year of Dr. Rizal. Now, why is this important? Well, first of all, I think it's very critical for us to maintain our cultural heritage. That's the reason why I think I commend you, particularly, you know, Hector, you're the chair, I think, of the overall committee, that organizing committee, right, for this Nino Tacloban Fiesta. You know, we should preserve our cultural heritage. I think it's very important. I think most of you are first-generation immigrants, so it's important that we maintain it, we preserve it, so that our children, the second generation, will get to appreciate it. You know, the second generation, you know, your children, my children, they practically were born here. The formative years are here, so although they look Filipino, they might know how to eat Filipino food. I mean, they might not exactly think like us, or they may not exactly have the same interests and concerns like us. So I think one of the things that we should really do in this adopted land is to maintain our cultural heritage. That's very important for your children. So that's one of the missions that we in the Consulate General are doing. We try to promote Philippine arts, cultural heritage. In fact, we have a Philippine Center in Fifth Avenue in New York, where we try to showcase the best of these. I mean, if you have a chance to avail of our consular services, in the Consulate General, you'll always see that we have, we're showcasing either Philippine art, Philippine design, you know. Lately we had Philippine sculpture, you know, just to show that, you know, we have a culture to be proud of. And secondly, one of the things that we're also trying to do is to try to empower the Filipino community here. You know, they say that I think according to the 2010 census, we are almost 3 million. 3 million Filipinos all over the US. Here in the Northeast, which I cover, they claim that we are only about 280,000. You and I know that our numbers are more than that. But if there's something at least that those numbers are showing, if you compare it to the 2000 census, the Filipino population in the US has grown more than 30%. So I think the census and our conventional wisdom states that, you know, this is a growing community. So I think it's very important that we also at least lobby for everything that is of interest to the Filipino community. Okay? Now, one of the areas that the embassy in Washington and the Philippine Consulate in General in New York is lobbying for is what we call the SAVE Act, you know. CPNA, SAVE Act is about saving the garments industry in the Philippines. No? Kasi since 2 years ago, medyo bumagsak yung ban natin, no? Yung garments industry natin. We lost almost 100,000 jobs. And that is because the US is being flooded by garments made in China. And so what we're lobbying for is a win-win situation with the US Congress. That is, we will be importing textile made in the USA. Then it will be converted, it will be made into garments in the Philippines. Then it will be exported to America, duty-free. Yun ang usapan. No? So in other words, we will maintain the jobs in the Philippines because we lost 100,000 in just the past 6 years, I think. And at the same time, we will also help the U.S. textile industry. You know, the unemployment is a very big problem with the current administration here. So we're trying to lobby with the congressmen and the senators. So siguro at an appropriate time, we will ask your help in signing petition letters to your respective congressmen here in the U.S. And there are many other things that we're trying to work for. For instance, on immigration, maybe sensitive ito, but there is the DREAM Act. There is a group of Filipino Americans, it's called the NAFAS, the National Association of, National Federation of Filipino American Associations. We're also working for the passage of the DREAM Act. So there are many things that concerns us. And thirdly, what I want to say is, you know, I assume that many of you are already American citizens. No? If you're American citizens, please register as voters, U.S. voters. I think it's important that the congressmen here, the senators here know that their constituents are actually voters. No? Kasi maraming Pilipino, whenever we approach about, we say that, oh, how big is your community? Sabi namin, dito kalaki. But I don't see them voting in my district, you know. So, siguro naman, napaka-importante na we show them that, you know, we care also for the communities here, you know. I think that's very important. You might wonder why the Consulate General is concerned with that. Well, primarily because I think if we have a very strong Filipino-American community here, the way the Jews have it, the way the Mexicans have it, then maybe we'll have more say in the way American policy is made. So, yun mo ang gusto ko sabihin, ano? And at the same time, I presume that many of you come from out of state, not necessarily New Jersey, or all of you are from New Jersey, New York and New Jersey. Oh, Connecticut, okay. Yeah, Long Island is part of New York, no? They actually come from all over, no? At least the tri-state area. So anyway, there are things that we also do, no? Kasi, for example, if you want to avail of dual citizenship, we have that service, no? Yes, you can reacquire your Philippine citizenship as long as you're a natural-born Filipino. Natural born, no? Hindi si Saya, natural born. Okay. You can avail of that, then of course, if you become a dual citizen, you have all of the rights of a Filipino. You can still take American citizenship. And secondly, of course, you have a new passport, we call it electronic passport, and mandatory kasi yung personal appearance. No? So one of the programs that we have started since March is we go twice a month to states outside New York. You know? So we have been going around. So siguro try to get into our website, pcgny.net, to see if we have, for instance, what we call a consular outreach program. They're sponsoring organizations. So I think that's about what I have to convey to you, I appreciate this is the first time a Consul General has spoken before this association. So, since my heart is very close to the Baraymans, definitely I'll make myself available if you have events. So, I wish you the best as an organization. At the same time, I hope you enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Naririnig ko kanina yung kuracha, di ba? I can hear the kuracha. I think that's very coming from that. But anyway, enjoy the rest of the afternoon. And since this is the first time I've met you, I'd like to have maybe an informal chat with quite a lot of you after we eat. Okay? So, maraming salamat po. Magandang hapon. Mabuhay ko kayong lahat.
Thank you so much, Consul General De Leon. Okay, so I guess before we have the other parts of this afternoon celebration, we have to fulfill first our gastronomic needs. So we'd like to request Monsignor Ramon Aguilos to lead us in our prayer before we all please stand.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Bless us, O Lord, and raise the gifts which we are about to receive from the bounty through Christ our Lord.
Amen.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Thank you so much. So we'll have table 1, 2, and 3, please, to proceed to the buffet table. Tables 1, 2, and 3.